Good morning to all my students. Today I am going to talk about a very important topic, and that is understanding Gandhian concept of nonviolence. So let me just begin. Generally, when we discuss about nonviolence and what we mean actually by nonviolence word, uh, we mean by nonviolence word non-killing and non-injury or giving up violence. Okay, so if you believe in the Gandhian thought of nonviolence, that means you should be a nonviolent person and you should not hurt someone by your sentiments, by your words. You should not hurt someone's sentiment by your words, by your deed, by your actions. So you have to be friendly enough with all the people, and you should not kill someone. That is going to be the general meaning of when we discuss about the non-violence. But in a very larger context, what Gandhi actually means by the non-violence, that he says that non-violence is the law of the law. So if you face any situation, no matter you have some confrontation with your friend or with your colleague or with any person in this world, so you have to be you should not forget the lesson of forgetting or forgiving. Or so what you can do, you have to think that you should be able to try to convince him, try to use the dialogue means, and you should be able to make your opponent or your enemy your friend, and that is the grand law of the non-violence. And he says that the Gandhi says that this is the biggest law of the non-violence, that uh, even if you are friendly with your opponent, with your enemy, and you are in a position to make him your friend, and that is the grand law of the non-violence. So uh, Gandhi says that what is actually non-violence according to Gandhi? It is the grand law of the non-violence. Uh, you know, uh, Grand law of the non-violence is that you should be able to make your opponent, to make your enemy, your friend, by your behavior, by your thoughts, by your actions, and by your sweet words. And non-violence, from the Gandhian thought, from the Gandhian perspective, is the law of the law. That no matter whatever situation you face in your life, don't stop following the path of non-violence, and try to use the means of love, affection, empathy, compassion. So by all these means, you can overcome any difficult situation, any problem in your life. So, therefore, Gandhi says non-violence is the law of the law. And when we talk about the entire philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi ji, it is the entire philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi ji is based on twin principles. One is the non-violence, and one is the truth, and the second is non-violence. And Gandhiji says that truth is the highest law, and whereas the non-violence is the highest duty. So Gandhi also says that if you face any situation in your life, and you are not satisfied with any situation or with any law, then what you can do, you can show a peaceful march, or you can follow the principles of civil disobedience or non-cooperation. That means through the non-violence, or through the peaceful means, you can overcome any difficult situation, and you can tell your opponent that, or even your oppressor, that you are not satisfied the actions and activities committed by that person or by that organization, or by so you can say no to him, but it should be by peaceful means. Okay, that should be through civil disobedience, through satyagraha, through non-cooperation, and which Gandhi has actually used in his life. You know, when he was fighting against the British colonialism and British imperialism, and then he used these policies in order to emancipate India from the British colonial clutches. And therefore, what we can say, the resistance should the resistance through non-violent means is the you know you know best principle which Gandhi has adopted, that if you are even resisting something, but that has to be non-violent, through non-violent means. You cannot use violence, you cannot use confrontation, you cannot use exploitation, or you cannot use any other means. Rather, you should be non-violent. Don't stop following the path of non-violence in any situation. So you have to use this method in all situations. uh, Resolving all human problems, social, political, economic, and religious, through non-violent means. Mahatma Gandhiji's philosophy teaches us that whatever may be the situation, whatever may be the problems and impediments, whether those problems are social in our life, whether those problems are economic, there may be some economic issues or economic disparities, or there may be some political conflicts or political disputes or imbroglios, and a religious type of division and balkanization. So everything could be resolved through the non-violent means, and through dialogue, through convincing, through compassion, through love, and through peaceful means. There is a possibility that we could achieve a world peace. We could make this planet a better place to live in. And therefore, non-violence could lead to the establishment of the world without hatred, wars, and all kinds of exploitation. And the integration could be achieved, can be created through the non-violent methods and through the non-violent means. And Gandhiji was further Gandhiji says that he was believing that the greatest, he was a great believer in the Sarvodaya principle, that is welfare of all, welfare of all. He did not accept the notion of utilitarian school of thought, which was based on the greatest happiness of the greatest number of the people, whereas the Gandhiji was having a different idea, that greatest happiness of all the people, okay, and or greatest good of all people. And therefore he was in favor of welfare state, where the welfare state is going to take care of all the people, despite of without any distinction of color, caste, religion, and etc. So the state is going to work for everyone, and that state, welfare state, which will take care of the people and which will work for the betterment of all. Then the non-violence is not this is also why Gandhi actually matters to all of us. Is actually Gandhi has taught to the world that how you can use the non-violence methods, or non-violent principles in every situation. No matter what is the situation, what would be the situation, even in the difficult situation, you have to use this principle, and it is going to make a change. And that's why Gandhi was recognized, and he became the international icon because of his principles, because of his evergreen ideas, because of his philosophy of truth and non-violence. The world has actually adopted, the world has recognized the Gandhian contribution. And therefore, even in the present contemporary world, where there are number of divisions, where there are number of issues, number of problems, even the wars, or some, in some countries there are some wars going on. All those situations could be handled once we adopted the Gandhi's method, or the Gandhi's policy of non-violence, and we can make this planet more peaceful, more progressive, and more vibrant, and where all can live in peace. So non-violence is not only for Indians, but it is for the entire world and for the entire humanity. So the principle of non-violence, which was advocated by Mahatma Gandhi, it was not only for the Indian people; it was also for the entire globe, for the entire world, for the entire humanity. And there is a lot to take away from the principles of Mahatma Gandhiji's, philosophy, from the philosophy of Mahatma Gandhiji, that is the truth, non-violence, satyagraha, and non-cooperation, civil disobedience. And so we can learn a lot. We have a lot to take away in a situation, where the world is in a number of problems. And if we evolve the Gandhian method of non-violence, then definitely we are going to make a bigger change in the contemporary world. So all human beings are like one family. I want to live at peace, both friend and foe. So this is the principle which has been taught to us by Mahatma Gandhi ji, that even if you have your friend or colleague, or if you have enemy, you should not stop following the path of non-violence. You have to be friendly. You have to use non-violent methods. Okay, you know. With your friend as well as with your enemy. So you should be able to make your opponent, your enemy, even your friend. And that is very important, that is very much remarkable. Then also further he says, non-violence should be guiding principle for the whole world, and it should be the way of Indian life. So non-violence comes from the heart. It should come from your heart. It should come from your heart. So Gandhiji was against all sort of exploitation, force, coercive force, or genocide, wars, absolute power, and he was a great believer in world peace and humanity. And therefore he did not accept the idea of Hegel, where Hegel says state is the march of God on earth. So Gandhi has a different opinion, that state is he was believing in the Sarvodaya principle, that means a welfare state, and welfare state where there is a possibility that it is going to work for the betterment of all, and where the welfare of all is going to be the possibility. So let me just so when we at in finally I can say that there is a lot to take away from the Gandhian philosophy, from the Gandhian principles, whether it is truth, whether it is non-violence, whether it is civil disobedience, non-cooperation, or many other principles advocated by by Gandhiji. So so the world can learn a lot. Even our students, professors, or anybody in this world can take a lot of can learn a lot. If but the any one thing is important, that we need to really adopt his policy of non-violence in our daily matters. So then our all the issues, whether social, economic, and many problems with which we are confronted with, all those problems could be resolved amicably once we are trying to adopt the Gandhi's philosophy of non-violence. And let me just at end try to end up my lecture, trying to end up my lecture with the beautiful words of APJ Abdul Kalam. When there is rightness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. So thank you so much for hearing my lecture. See you next time with my another lecture. Take care of yourself. Stay blessed. Bye bye.